Okay, guys, we have Andrew Zusman here from Israel. He's a universal design expert. Andrew, you had just a very interesting talk about, well, universal design. I would like to ask you a few questions about it.
Sure, by all means.
My first question is, what is universal design, and what's the difference between universal design and user-centered design, how these two come together?
Right. Well, I think we use a lot of different terms, and I'm not sure how much they matter, but universal design is the idea that we'll create one design that fits the widest possible spectrum of users. And I'd say user-centered design roughly means considering the user in the design process. So I think there's some overlap. They're both connected very closely, but the idea of thinking about how we can include as many different people as we can into a design project is the baseline for a universal design project.
And how do you decide that, okay, we've got as many people, different kinds of users as we can, but not more, because otherwise you could create something that will be unusable for most of them.
Well, there are certainly accessibility guidelines, and I try to move away from considering this is an accessibility issue exclusively, mainly because I don't like to section people off and say, that's a blind guy, that's a deaf guy. I just like to think of people as people, and I think we tend to talk about like B2B designs and B2C designs, but really we need to consider H2H, that I'm a human being and I have, a set of senses of sight and hearing and so on, and that someone else might not have the same facilities that I have. Now, we tend to design for ourselves. So I think about myself as a, native English speaker, for example. So when I design, I don't know what words might not work for a Polish audience, for example. So in considering and having empathy and in trying to understand who someone else is, I think is really the most fun and most challenging part of working in user experience design.
So what is the sound of a one-hand person typing on the keyboard there relating to your talk?
Fair enough. Wow, that's a funny question. Roughly the same, and I think that's both good and bad. On the positive side, it means that the experience that they're having is the same as mine, that we've created that singular experience. But on the bad side of things, I think we have a long way to go toward creating something that's better for everyone. It's unfortunate that despite the technology we have, that most people with one arm or one hand are using a standard keyboard. It's unfortunate that we haven't created a better typing experience, better hardware for not just everyone, but looking at that small peripheral user to create something that's really beneficial for everyone.
Okay, so what's your advice at the end of this short interview? What's your advice for a company, for people, for design teams that would like to expand their scope to also involve this, as you call, peripheral users into their design process? What would be like, I don't know, 2 or 3 things that they should consider to do this, to just start with it?
Well, let's start with this. When I first began working in user experience, I had a great teacher, and he told me, look, you will never work on a project of designing something that's for you. And so far that's true, right? I've worked on a wide variety of projects, from major corporations to like tiny little startups, but I've never designed something that I felt like was for me, that the user base was me. So I think it begins with considering that you're not designing for yourself, you're designing for others. And when you take that leap into the unknown of, well, who is the user and what are they like, then the important thing is to go out there and to begin talking and engaging with these people and finding out and putting yourself in their shoes. It's almost a anthropology in a way, to say, what is it like? What is it like to use this website if I'm blind? What is it like to use this website if I don't speak native Russian or native English?
The absolute fundamental base that you should consider just to go out of this, let's say, standard, normal users?
It's a really complicated question. Well, okay, there are quite a few principles of universal design, and maybe the most simple to understand but difficult to execute is flexibility. So I tend to think of a website as being a house. So you have an architect that's a user experience designer, you have a programmer who's the construction worker, an interior designer is a graphic designer. And when we think about a house, we have more than one door in a lot of cases, right? We have a front door and a back door. And that allows us two different ways to reach the same bit of information. So flexibility is critical because we're trying to create something that's more inclusive. Not everyone will like to use the front door. Maybe someone will want to go in the window, right? So we have to allow for a degree of flexibility that allows people to access information in the way that best suits them. And actually, I give another presentation on dyslexia in universal design, and something I found with dyslexics that's connected to this is they love Internet Movie Database, the IMDb, because they say, like, if I want to search by actor, I can do that, or genre, or year, or movie title, or keyword, or any number of different ways to connect the dots to get to the same way. So I think flexibility is a really critical aspect of universal design that, again, is a really simple concept and maybe complex to execute, but necessary as well.
I was thinking about something that would fit to the definition of equipment or a product that could be operated with just one hand and could be at the same time practical. And I've got a little surprise for you.
You do?
Yeah, I do. And I hope you'll enjoy it, but not just you, but I know that you've got a little King Charles Spaniel dog.
I do.
You do?
I do, Indy.
So yeah, let me show you something that you can operate with one hand and can have, both of you can have a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
I hope Indy likes to operate, bring things.
That's great. That's great.
So
thank you so much.
Thank you very much for this conversation.
All
Thank
right.
you very much for good talk.
Great. Thank you very much.
Have a
And
good
thank
day.
you to UX Poland for bringing me here. It's a really, really wonderful venue, wonderful people. The speakers are a high level, and I look forward to coming again in the future.
With pleasure.
Great.
You're always welcome. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.